The lowlands see high power from the high towers as Glory returns to Europe for Glory 41 Holland. Humongous heavyweights, Thomas Ron and Hesty Gerges meet, and there's no chance they're going Dutch. One man is going to pay. Plus, fists and feet fly in a furious frenzy in a featherweight matchup. And a massive four-man heavyweight contender tournament sees Brazilian beast Anderson Silva head up a horde of heavy hitters, including Curaçaoan bone cruncher D'Angelo Marshall. Silva has experience by the bucket load and goes in as the favorite, but with 2 fights in one night, all bets are off. It's Glory 41 Holland.
We welcome those of you watching in over 170 countries around the world. We are in the Mecca of kickboxing, the Netherlands, in the south of the country, in Den Bosch at the Braben Holland Arena. Alongside my broadcast partner, former welterweight champion of the world here in Glory, Joseph Valtellini. My name is Todd Grisham. Our world heavyweight champion, Rico Verhoeven, has been extremely dominant. We need to find a new #1 contender, and we're going to try and do just that tonight.
Well, there's 4 guys tonight that want that chance at Rico, and the winner of this fight gets a chance to fight Benjamin Adegbuyi in New York, so there's a lot riding on this, future contender shot.
Anderson Silva on the left-hand side, obviously a favorite. He's fought pretty much every big name this sport has to offer.
And he's the most experienced guy in this tournament, and that's what he really needs to use. He needs to utilize his boxing, his experience. He's fought everyone in the heavyweight division.
On the other side of the bracket, how about D'Angelo Marshall? He made his Glory debut. He looked really great despite losing in an extra round to Guto Inocenc.
Guto Inocenc is very tough to figure out, and he did a good job using that forward pressure. And he's not new to tournaments. He's a 2-time Super Combat champion, so he's ready for 2 fights in one night.
That's right, 2 fights in one night. You win your first one, you hang out for 40 minutes, catch your breath, and you go right back at it again. The winner advances to Madison Square Garden in July to face off against Benjamin Adegbuyi to become the #1 contender for the World Heavyweight Championship. Glory is always expanding their footprint. We're headed to China later this year. We've added another Chinese fighter who's making his debut tonight.
Chen Longjiang is a new fighter, only 19 years old, but he wants to add his name to the list of Chinese fighters making successful Glory debuts, so expect a lot of action and a lot of spin kicks from him.
Well, we are here in Holland, so we've got to have at least 1 Dutch fighter on the card, right? And we've got a pretty darn good one. Hesty Gerges, the heavyweight, is back in action tonight.
Originally set to face Chai Lewis Perry, however, Thomas Ron came in on short notice to take on Gerges, and Gerges wants to really put on a good show, but Ron's an experienced fighter and could be tough for him.
There are some that say Ron might actually be better than Chai Perry, so Hesty Gerges is going to have his work cut out for him tonight. He is old school, ladies and gentlemen, and proud of it. He's backstage right now with Whitney Miller.
Thanks, Todd. Hesty, after what happened with Chopper Chai in Brussels, there's a lot of animosity between you guys, and you learned that you weren't going to be able to face him tonight. Is there a letdown or any disappointment there?
Of course, I'm disappointed because I was already with 5 months with him in my mind, and then he canceled it again. So I'm really disappointed about it.
Well, tonight you're facing an opponent that you know fairly well. Do you have to change your mindset at all, because you guys sparred within the last couple of months?
Yeah, but we don't spar really much. And before it was like 3 years ago we sparred sometimes, but sparring is different than a real fight. And it's a little bit game changing, but not really much. I have my own style, and I'm going to use that, and that will be enough.
And what's next? What can we look forward to, or what do you look forward to in the heavyweight division?
I'm going after the title still, and I want the title, and if I don't care with who it belongs, and that day when I fight for the title, but I will take the title.
All right, well, that sounds good. Good luck tonight.
Thank you very much.
Glory Sports International, the world's premier kickboxing organization, comes to the sports motherland for Glory 41 Holland. And of course tonight, a 4-man heavyweight contender tournament as kickboxing returns home. All of our bouts tonight sanctioned by the International Sport Kickboxing Association by Ron Korkmaz, who's with us ringside. Brabant, Holland, and Boos, are you ready for glory? We get right to tournament action. This Greek giant arrived in Holland on a 4-fight winning streak. Here comes Giannis Staforidis.
You are looking at the first ever Greek fighter to make the walk to the glory ring. Joe, what do you expect out of this monster tonight?
Well, he's built like a brick house, and he's going to use that body, that strong mentality that he has, and really use some good pressure fighting. And talking to one of his coaches, Nicky Hemmers, he says he trains hard, he's very powerful and strong, and that he hopes Anderson Silva is ready.
His nickname is Hercules, and that seems pretty fitting for Giannis Staforidis, who makes his glory debut tonight.
This man last appeared at Glory 38 in Chicago and will be making his 15th Glory appearance. Here comes Anderson Silva.
There aren't many heavyweights on the planet with more high-level experience in the kickboxing world than Anderson Silva. He's fought Rico Verhoeven, Ismail Lunt, Benjamin Adekbouy, Jamal Big Ben Sadiq. The list goes on and on.
Yeah, and not only has he fought the current heavyweights in the division, he's also fought some of the legends in the sport. Remy Bonyaski, Goken Saki, Daniel Guida. So he's going to really have to use that experience against this young fighters in this tournament.
Here is our tail of the tape, our opening bout in the heavyweight division. Silva versus Staforidis. Height and weight go to Anderson Silva, but look at Staforidis with a 5-inch reach advantage.
Well, he's going to want to use that reach to try to keep Anderson Silva in that professional experience that he has, but he does have a lot of power, a good win percentage, so let's see what he can do against the experienced Brazilian.
A refresher on the glory rules. There are 3 3-minute rounds. Punches, kicks, and knees are the legal strikes. 2 knockdowns in a round or 3 in the fight will result in a TKO. Those are semi-final rules since this is a tournament tonight.
Well, 5 judges in Holland tonight are going to be looking, using a prioritized system. We're looking for knockdowns, damage inflicted, clean scoring strikes with spectacular techniques, and finally aggressiveness.
Tonight, we have open scoring. You'll be able to follow along with the official judges' scores after each round. So we look forward to that here tonight. Into the ring now, and the voice of glory, Tim Hughes.
This contender tournament semifinal is scheduled for 3 3-minute rounds. Introducing first, fighting out of the black corner. He is a 2011 Greek boxing national champion. His professional kickboxing record, 25 wins with 5 losses, 13 of those wins by knockout. He'll make his glory debut tonight in Den Bosch. Standing 6 feet 1 inch tall, 1.86 meters. He weighed in at fight time at 232 pounds, 105.3 kilos. Here tonight, fighting out of Kavala, Greece. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Giannis Hercules Staforidis. Here now is his opponent, standing on my left and fighting out of the white corner, a former Brazilian national champion. His professional record, 40 wins with 16 losses, 1 bout scored even, 25 career knockouts. At 6 feet 3.5 inches, 1.92 meters, he weighed in at fight time at an even 236 pounds, 107.2 kilos. Here tonight, fighting out of Sao Paulo, Brazil, is Anderson Braddock Silva. And your referee in charge of the glory ring, Tobias Gerald.
Giannis, Anderson, So gentlemen, you both know the rules. Respect my commands all times. Protect yourself at all times. Fight good, fight clean, fight hard. May the best man win. Judge glove if you want, and back to the corners. Judge, 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 judge. Time, ready, fight!
Certainly a tall order here for Staffaridis. Thrown right into the deep water facing Anderson Braddock Silva, who's wearing the white gloves. Staffaridis in the black.
Well, Staffaridis is a southpaw, let's see how he uses that southpaw advantage against Silva.
Anderson Silva coming off a very tough loss in his last bout, losing to Benjamin Adegbuyi in Chicago. Joe, a lot of people felt that he won that fight.
Well, the problem was there was a controversial low kick knockdown in the third, which made it to go an extra round, and you can see Silva's energy totally died about that extra round because he thought he won that fight.
But to his credit, Silva went back to the gym, worked harder than ever. You can see he's more lean than he was in his last fight, certainly.
Yeah, maybe he plans on being a little bit more active.
Oh, and a quick left hand, and that is ruled a slip, surprisingly, perhaps.
That definitely looked interesting. Silva looked hurt there.
And he's backed up against the ropes, and Staffaridis smells blood here. You could hear Staffaridis' corner yelling that that was a knockdown.
Good job, Yannis really trying to change angles with his boxing.
And Staffaridis now putting the pressure on the Brazilian, who's got the earmuffs on.
I really like how he's changing angles. But Braddock's very experienced. Let's see if he can control his emotions, relax, and recover from it.
Now Staffaridis perhaps being a little more patient, trying to save some of his energy.
It would be a good strategy. He knows how experienced Braddock is.
At first glance, it seemed like a knockdown. And there, that is a knockdown as Silva crumples to the canvas.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay?
Silva not just favored to win this fight, but favored to win this tournament, and things are going horribly for the Brazilian right now as Staffaridis going for the finish.
Staffaridis is finding a lot of success with his left straight. Mixing in that low kick to the rear leg.
Now keep in mind, if Silva goes down one more time in this round, the fight is over. A straight left, right up Route 1, back Silva to the ropes again, and another left hand.
Now that left hand's doing really well. Whether he throws it as a left straight or a left hook, he's doing damage with it.
Round 1 going about as well as it possibly could for Hercules. And Silva again off balance, backing up into the corner.
Excellent composure by Staffaridis, really trying to set up his shots, use his low kicks.
Staffaridis, his glory debut no less, puts Anderson Silva on his backside at least once, Joe, maybe twice as we look at the replay.
Yeah, that actually looked like a knockdown to me. Let's take a closer look.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely a knockdown to me.
That is a hard left hand right there. And that is a knockdown, ladies and gentlemen. And here's the official knockdown, Joe.
Yeah, Staffaridis started trying to use his low kick, but then he really started throwing his left hand at different angles, whether it's a hook or a straight. He's doing a good job at really being unpredictable how he lands that left hand.
So what's the message now to Anderson Silva to get back in this fight?
Well, he needs to be a little bit more active. If I was Silva, I want to see him counterpunch more versus the aggressive forward style striking of Yannis.
Keep in mind, the winner of this fight fights again later tonight, so Staffaridis would love to end this right here, right now.
Ready? Fight!
Staffaridis 25-5 with 12 knockouts. Here's the official scorecards from our 5 judges. All of them see it 10-8 with that knockdown.
That was an easy round to score. Staffaridis in that pressure, picking his shots. He needs to keep composed and keep finding that left hand. That's what Silva needs to do, be a little bit more active. Can't wait too long. Stavridis really slowed down in this round.
Stavridis told us yesterday he believes Silva's on his way down, not what he once was. Says, I'm on my way up. We're going to pass in the night.
Well, it's an impressive start. I'm just wondering if he's slowing down because he's tired, or is he having to set something up, waiting to the end of the round?
And that was ruled a slip, rightfully so. And Joe, when you see a fighter that carries that much muscle, how often does it affect their longevity in fights?
Well, they say it tires you out quicker because you need to deliver more oxygen to those big muscles. But I've seen some big guys able to go 5 rounds. Look at the current champion, Rico Verhoeven.
Well, tonight, there's a chance Stavridis could have to go 6 rounds. 3 in this fight and 3 in the finals. Now keep in mind, because of those 10-8 rounds, if Silva were to win this round and that right hand helps, and win the 3rd round 10-9, we could go to an extra round, but Silva might want to end it right here, right now.
Well, this is definitely Silva's round. He's being more busy, and that's what he needs to do.
A nice left to the body by Silva. And Stavridis takes a deep breath and then takes a knee. What a turn of events here.
That's that experience of Silva we're talking about.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
And it's over. Anderson Silva gets up off the canvas and sends Yanni Stavridis there and wins the first semifinal in this heavyweight tournament. Did you see that coming?
I definitely didn't see that coming. I'm not sure what happened. It didn't look damaging enough, but who knows what happened with Stavridis. But man, Anderson Silva's experience really showed in this fight.
Well, watch these body shots, Joe.
That's what makes Silva busy. He changes levels with his left hook. That's where a lot of his knockouts come. Could have been a body shot to me, I'm not sure. Didn't look like the headshots did the damage. It's those ripping shots to the body.
You can almost see in his face, he was questioning himself. Can I keep going? Am I done? And he decided, I don't want any more of the big Brazilian. Anderson Braddock Silva has done it again and advances to the finals of our heavyweight tournament. We make it official when we return. Let's take a closer look while we have a chance at our Glory rules.
Glory Kickboxing is the most action-packed fight sport on the planet. Legal strikes are punches, kicks, and knees. Regular bouts are 3 rounds. Championship bouts are 5, and each round is 3 minutes of action. Outfight your opponent for 10-9. Knock them down for 10-8. In a normal bout or tournament final, 3 knockdowns in 1 round or 4 in the entire bout, and the fight is over by TKO. In a tournament semi, 2 knockdowns in 1 round or 3 in the entire bout, and it's all over. Or you can just knock your opponent out. Sweeps, elbows, and grappling are not allowed. Clinching is okay if you follow up with a knee. Glory rules are designed to bring non-stop, fast-paced stand-up action. To find out more, go to glorykickboxing.com.
Welcome back to the Glory 41 here in Den Bosch, Holland, and what an entertaining scrap in the heavyweight division to start things off.
Yeah, there was a lot of changes and exchanges, and it was really the start where Stavridis came out, didn't get that knockdown there, but came back, scored a second knockdown, well, the first one official, but in that second round, Silva really showed his experience, started being more busy, putting combinations together, and really looked at changing levels with his punches. And it looked like a big body shot that Stafaridis couldn't really recover from.
Now keep in mind, in tournament format, if you get knocked down twice in one round, the fight's over. So, had that first knockdown been ruled a knockdown, Stafaridis wouldn't have had to deal with the second round. He would have won. So I'm sure they're not too happy about that. But in the end, Anderson Silva did what he had to do. Let's make it official now as we send it in to Tim Hughes.
Ladies and gentlemen, our referee Tobias Gerald steps in and waves this contest off. And an official time of 2 minutes, 26 seconds of that second round, declaring your winner by technical knockout, who now advances to the tournament final, Anderson Silva.
Anderson Braddock Silva with his 41st professional win, his 26th victory by way of knockout. And let's watch that final knockdown once again. It wasn't one punch, Joe. It was about 15 all put in together.
Yeah, it's that level changes, and Braddock is so experienced that when he gets in there, he knows he has to hit the body. And once the body is hit, opens up the head, but Stafaridis couldn't handle that power of Braddock on the inside.
And down goes Hercules. Here's our bracket. Anderson Silva advances to the final. Whom will he face? D'Angelo Marshall or Muhammad Abdallah? That answer will be given to us in a few minutes. Still to come, though, one of China's very best young fighters comes to glory. 19-year-old Chinlong Zhong makes his debut tonight as he faces Wilson Sanchez Mendez, who looks to make an impression in his glory debut as well. But coming up next, there is Big D'Angelo Marshall. He squares off against Muhammad Abdallah out of Germany. It's our heavyweight contender tournament semifinal number 2, and it's next.
Saturday, June 10th, the conquering hero returns. Cedric Doumbé makes his second title defense in front of a home crowd at Glory 42 Paris. But it's Holskin's legacy on the line as he faces the man who ended his 4-year unbeaten reign. 2 bitter rivals, 1 rematch, a fight for redemption and revenge. Plus, a 4-man lightweight contender tournament featuring Nicholas Larson as well as heavyweight action. Glory 42 Paris, Saturday, June 10th. Don't miss it.
We next move to the other half of the tournament bracket in the heavyweight division. He was crowned German national champion in 2015 and makes his glory debut here in Den Bosch. Please welcome Muhammad Abdallah.
One of several fighters making their glory debut tonight. Muhammad Abdallah, 12-1, 5 knockouts, but he fights out of Big Mike's gym, Joe, and that should tell you enough right there.
Yeah, Big Mike's gym produces a lot of hard fighters, fighters who like to come forward, fighters who like to bring a lot of pressure, and that's what Abdallah plans to bring. He says his quote was, "I'd rather die than take a step back." So, you know, there's a lot of forward pressure and a lot of aggression.
He also says his favorite punch is the uppercut because a lot of heavyweights never see it coming.
His debut was an extra round affair in Los Angeles at Glory 37. Here is D'Angelo Marshall.
Jongens zonder baan.
D'Angelo Marshall knows all about tournaments. He was the Super Combat Tournament winner in 2013 and 2015. What's experience like that? How valuable is it tonight?
Well, tournaments are very tricky. They're different. You have to focus on the first fight. But the problem is there is a second fight if you win. So D'Angelo Marshall has a lot of experience on how he gauges himself. A lot of guys like to use boxing to save their shins. And Marshall is a boxer, brings the pressure. So I think he's going to really have to use that boxing experience to win this tournament.
Here is our tail of the tape in the heavyweight division. Curacao versus Germany. Marshall versus Abdallah. Both men in their 20s. The weight and reach advantage go to Marshall. The reach 6.5 inches, Joe.
Yeah, Marshall really uses that reach and that length. And both of these guys, based on professional experience, are very similar. But you got to look at D'Angelo Marshall having that slight edge in having fought in glory before.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, this heavyweight tournament semifinal is scheduled for 3 3-minute rounds. Introducing first, fighting out of the black corner. He became a European and world champion in 2016. His young professional record, 12 wins with just 1 loss. 5 of those wins coming by knockout. Standing 6 feet 5 inches tall, 1.95 meters, he weighed in at 232.5 pounds, 105.6 kilos. Fighting tonight out of Germany, by way of Lebanon, here is Mohammed Abdallah. His opponent fighting out of the white corner, a 2-time tournament winner and Dutch-style kickboxer. His professional record, 14 wins with 2 losses, 8 of those career wins by knockout. He too stands 6 feet 5 inches tall, 1.95 meters, and he weighed in at fight time at 244.5 pounds and even 110 kilos. Fighting tonight out of Curacao, ladies and gentlemen, introducing D'Angelo Marshall. And the third man inside the rupture referee is Paul Nichols.
Gentlemen, you understand the rules that you're fighting to. Take yourself at all times, obey my commands at all times. Touch gloves if you like.
It's interesting seeing them both so stoic and angry. They're 2 of the happiest, smiliest guys you'll ever see, Marshall and Abdallah. But no one's happy right now. It's all about anger. Abdallah wearing the black gloves, Marshall in the white.
Marshall's coming out very aggressive with his boxing, just like as I predicted.
They're both coming out pretty aggressive. A left hand sneaks right through the guard of Abdallah.
Abdallah won't move back. He's going to stay in the pocket.
Listen to those thudding blows, and there's a right hand, but Abdallah somehow stays upright, but maybe not for long. He goes down. What a start for Marshall.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Gloves up.
Fight! This is what we want to see from heavyweights. Marshall comes with that big right hand again, and down goes Abdallah, and this fight is over. Marshall!
He really used that aggressive boxing to overwhelm Abdallah. Came in throwing big hooks, power punches. Let's hope Abdallah gets up okay.
Abdallah's trainer, Mike Passanier, said, listen, these guys are about on the same level. The one thing that concerns me, though, about Marshall is his one-punch power, and he had a right to be upset and disturbed about it, because here it is, Joe.
Yeah, he threw some good right hooks and hands in those exchanges, and bang, that's that right hand, and he's following with punches. There's the uppercut, changing angles and levels with his punching. Boom, follow his left kick on the way down.
And now number 2, and this was all she wrote in a tournament format. You go down twice in the first round, it's over. So Marshall, it's a dream come true for him. He's as fresh as the daisy and advances to the finals to square off against Anderson Silva, who's been knocked down tonight.
Well, that's definitely the perfect outcome for Marshall, so let's see how this plays in the finals.
GloryShop.com is your stop for all things Glory Kickboxing. Represent your favorite world-class strikers and get your own t-shirts, hoodies, hats, training gear, and more. Join your favorite fight club and get your Glory gear today. GloryShop.com. Tradition, style, glory.
Welcome back to Holland. One more time, we look back at these highlights from our second semifinal in the heavyweight division.
And these highlights are all one-sided as D'Angelo Marshall overwhelmed Abdallah with his boxing. Threw his punches and bunches until Abdallah couldn't take anymore and hit the canvas. After that first knockdown, D'Angelo smelled blood and kept coming forward. 2 knockdowns, 1 round in a tournament format, the fight's over.
Let's make it official now. Into the ring we go, and Tim Hughes.
Ladies and gentlemen, you watched it as it happened. This bout comes to an end just 48 seconds into that first round and ends by knockout. For your winner, now punching his ticket to the tournament final, D'Angelo Marshall.
So the Curaçaoian Crusher, as I like to call him, has another victim. Knockout number 9 for D'Angelo Marshall, and he advances to the finals of tonight's heavyweight tournament against Anderson Silva, who's damaged goods, Joe.
Yeah, and they're both heavy boxers, so I'm anticipating a lot of boxing exchanges, but let's see what happens. Will the freshness of Marshall, overplay the experience of Silva?
That's later tonight. But up next, he's only 19 and feels it's just a matter of time before he's in title contention. China's Chinlong Zhang in action next, but his opponent Wilson Sanchez Mendez believes tonight will be the night he makes his grand entrance on the Glory stage. Saturday, June 10th, the conquering hero returns. Cedric Doumbé makes his second title defense in front of a home crowd at Glory 42 Paris. But it's Holskin's legacy on the line as he faces the man who ended his 4-year unbeaten reign. 2 bitter rivals, 1 rematch, a fight for redemption and revenge. Plus, a 4-man lightweight contender tournament featuring Nicholas Larson as well as heavyweight action. Glory 42 Paris, Saturday, June 10th. Don't miss it.
From the heavyweights to the featherweights, in about scheduled for 3 3-minute rounds. He moves from tournament reserve at Glory 39 directly onto the world stage. Here is Wilson Sanchez Mendez.
Biggest boss and I've been the trillest. I'm a bigger problem when I click with Skrillex. Murder on my mind, it's time to pray to God. My revolver's not religious, the revolution's born.
There is Wilson Sanchez Mendez. This is his Glory debut, and as you can see, he's soaking it all in, Joe. What do you remember about the first time you made the walk in Glory?
Well, my first walk was at Glory 6 Istanbul a long time ago, but it's definitely a moment that, Mendez will remember for the rest of his life, so I appreciate him really taking this moment in.
Says he's a forward fighter that loves to counter as well. Says his conditioning and his mental state of mind will be what wins the fight for him tonight.
We first heard of Wilson, when he first came in, he was a reserve fighter in Brussels tournament, never got the opportunity to fight, but now he does today as he runs into this ring, Rico Verhoeven style.
He's not quite on Rico's level yet, but give him some time.
This 19-year-old Chinese upstart already has over 40 professional bouts. Here is Qianlong Zhang.
Qianlong Zhang. You can see he's already fought 43 times professionally, Joe, but he's only 19 years old.
And he only started training at 14, so within 5 years, he was able to start training and make his way to the glory ring. So very impressive.
Absolutely. Can't wait to see him in action for the first time here tonight. This is our tale of the tape, Mendez versus Zhang, and it's in the featherweight division, 143 pounds, 65 kilos. 19 years old for Zhang, 23 for Sanchez Mendez.
Well, the biggest difference to me is the experience between the two. Qianlong Zhang has fought 43 times to only 8 fights to Sanchez Mendez, but Sanchez Mendez comes from a great camp, a lot of young fighters training out of there, and he's still very confident.
We send it now into the ring. Here's Tim Hughes.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, this bout scheduled for 3 3-minute rounds in the Glory Featherweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the black corner, trained in Dutch-style kickboxing. His record, 5 wins, 2 losses, 1 bout scored even. He'll make his Glory debut tonight. At 5 feet 8 1/2 inches, 1.74 meters. He went in at fight time at 142 1/2 pounds, 64.6 kilos. Fighting tonight out of Cape Verde, please welcome Wilson Sanchez Mendez. His opponent, standing on my left and fighting out of the white corner, a 3-time featherweight champion trained in Muay Thai. His professional record, 38 wins with just 5 losses, 11 of those wins coming by knockout. At 5 feet 9 1/2 inches, 1.77 meters, he weighed in at fight time at an even 142 pounds, 64.5 kilos. Here tonight in Den Bosch, fighting out of Shenzhen City, China, he is Qianlong Zhang. And your referee in charge of the Glory Ring is Tobias Gerald.
Fighters. Gentlemen who know the rules, we want to see a good and clean fight. Respect my commands all the times. Fight good, fight clean, fight hard. May the best man win. Touch glove if you want, and back to the corners. Judge, 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 judge. Time, ready, fight!
Wilson Sanchez Mendez. In the black gloves, Qianlong Zhang wearing white.
There's that southpaw kick that we're going to see a lot from Zhang. He's got very impressive kicks on the outside, where you're going to see Mendez really come inside to utilize his boxing.
2 fights tonight, 2 knockouts. In fact, we've only seen round 2 one time. Let's see what these featherweights have in store for us. A reminder that we do have open scoring. So between round 1 and 2, we'll post the official scores of tonight's 5 judges.
What's very impressive with Zhang is the way he uses his left kick. Very experienced. He'll really mix up levels with it, hit the body, hit the leg, go high kick. So watch for that left kick being his best weapon.
Zhang, as you mentioned, Joe, started fighting at the age of 14. Said his brother's a fighter and he was scared of his brother, so he figured I better hit the gym as well, see what I can learn. And right now, he's on top of the world at the age of 19.
And he's establishing his power. Standing his ground and throwing those kicks. And he's showing power in his hands as well.
Told us he likes to counterpunch. Both fighters, in fact, said they like to counterpunch. Somebody's got to throw first. Nice body kick there from Zhang. Zhang is a southpaw. As for Mendez, he says he can go either way, orthodox or unorthodox.
Well, he's staying orthodox right now, which could be a good strategy to go southpaw to try to take away that left kick, but Zhang landed a left knee in that exchange.
A good one, too, as Mendez stumbled back a little bit. And even if those shots don't land flush, but you stumble backwards, judges are most likely going to give the guy a scoring blow.
Well, the second criteria is damage, and if you can hit and show that you're giving your opponent damage, that's good on the scorecards. But Zhang definitely has an advantage in the power. He's waiting to counter attack it, whether it's with his kick or his boxing.
He looks about 10 pounds heavier than Mendez as well, does he not?
He's got big, solid legs. That's why that left kick's very dangerous.
Fighting out of Shenzhen City, China, is Chenglong Zhang. And again, Mendez scrambling backwards.
Ready? Fight!
So both men making their Glory debut. Round one out of the way. They can sit back, relax, take a deep breath, get the jitters out, and go for it in round two.
Yeah, it was a little bit more of a cautious round for both of them. Zhang really using that southpaw, really to use that left kick, because that seems to be his best weapon in his counter punching. It's that Muay Thai background. You can see he stands a little taller, stands his ground, really using that left kick. So that Muay Thai style is really starting to show.
As for Wilson Sanchez Mendez, he loves punching to the liver, was unable to do so in round number one. He almost looks like Murzel Brunhart's younger brother, does he not?
Yeah, I think it's the beard. But Sanchez Mendez, he needs to be more active this round, so let's see if he can put a little bit more pressure with his boxing and avoid those counter strikes of Zhang.
There's Maddie. You can say hello to her on Instagram or on Snapchat. Thanks for being with us. Our beautiful Glory girls. You want to learn more about them, and why wouldn't you? Go to glorykickboxing.com. Round two. Let's see what the judges had this score. The official scores will be posted on your screen momentarily. Sanchez Mendez goes down, and that's a knockdown.
3, 4.
Well, looking at that first
5,
round, 3 judges
6,
gave that round to Zhang, 2 to Sanchez Mendez.
And this one's going to go to Zhang as well. Could be a 10-8 round unless Mendez comes up with something here.
Zhang's going to put the pressure on. He has a little bit more of a bounce to his step. Probably planning on being a little bit more active now that he got that knockdown.
You don't see a lot of knockout power in the featherweight division unless you're Robin van Roosmalen. But Zhang does have 11 wins by KO.
Fight!
And now Mendez knowing he has to step up the pressure here. The corners see the scoring as well, so they can yell to their fighter, look, we're down a round, we got to go.
It's a cool concept, so I'm excited to see how fighters adapt to this new role system and see how the coaches coach their corners.
I told you Zhang started fighting because his brother was a fighter. As for Mendez, his nephew, who's roughly the same age as him, loved going to the gym and training and said he kept inviting him to go, and finally Wilson Mendez said, all right, I'll go. Fell in love with it. Here he is.
That's what's beautiful about international kickboxing. Different fighters come from different backgrounds, but they meet in the Glory ring.
And Joe, you train fighters. Would you rather have one nice spinning effort there from Mendez, who eats a shot in the rib cage? Would you rather have a fighter who's very good at Muay Thai or a fighter who's a great boxer that comes into your gym?
Well, it all depends. If they have a good Muay Thai background with kicks, we can develop their boxing. If they're good boxers, I'll develop their kicks. Bazooka kickboxing.
Doesn't matter to you. You take them all, don't you?
You got it.
Joe's told me he could turn me into a world champion.
We're working on that. Your jab's impressive, so let's build the low kick into that system.
Got to start somewhere. So this is shaping up to be a 10-8 round unless Mendez can do something special here with 30 seconds to go.
those low kicks can be hurting him. He's really starting to try to block those rear low kicks from Zhang.
Nice level change, went to the body and upstairs with the left hand, did Mendez. And when Zhang decides to come forward, he is coming forward.
Yeah, and he wants to land those knees as he's coming forward. He uses his boxing to walk in and throw those knees.
So another good round for China's Chenglong Zhang. This is Glory 41. Glory 43 headed your way in July, and we're going to the world's most famous arena, Madison Square Garden, featuring a #1 heavyweight contender, Benjamin Adegbuyi. He'll face the winner of tonight's heavyweight contender tournament. And right now, it's either going to be Marshall or Anderson Silva.
I know both of those guys want those chances, especially Silva, who actually thought he won that last fight. But let's take a look at that knockdown. Good call by Tobias Gerald. That knee landed right on the chin of Mendez.
Mendez jumped up as if he didn't know why it was called a knockdown. That's why it was called a knockdown.
Well, good call by Tobias Gerald. From my view, it looked like it kind of off-balanced Mendez, but that was definitely a good call.
So Tobias Gerald missed the knockdown in the Silva fight. He gets this one right. He's batting 500. The third and final round here in the featherweight division. 3 of the 5 judges gave round 1 to Zhang. And I would imagine all 5 gave round 2 to Zhang, and I'm correct. 10-8, so Mendez needs perhaps a knockout or 2 knockdowns. So what's the game plan here for Mendez to get back in the fight?
Well, Mendez just needs to put pressure on. He needs to just stay active, keep throwing back and forth. Don't wait too long for Zhang to set up that left kick, because that left kick's starting to build up, especially on those low kicks.
And you can just witness the power. Even when Zhang's punches are blocked, Mendez still has a reaction.
Well, Mendez is showing his heart. He knows he needs to go in on and put pressure. That's why he's staying in the pocket and exchanging.
Boy, Zhang does not look 19, does he?
No. With the shape, he definitely looks older.
Peak physical condition. He's got power. He's got skills. Oh, that leg kick almost sent him down.
They're adding up.
Now back to the head. Do you like what you're seeing, Joe, or am I talking out of turn here?
No, I like it. Zhang's doing a really good job at really defending the boxing of Mendez and utilizing his low kicks. Fighting very intelligently.
So it's knockout or bust here for Sanchez Mendez, according to our judges' official scores.
Zhang's counterfighting is doing the most damage.
And that left hand again woke Sanchez Mendez up.
Mendez keeps coming forward. He knows he needs the knockout.
Mendez certainly showing a lot of heart and went for the spectacular KO there. Oh! A high kick and a beauty from Chenglong Zhang.
You know that's a powerful kick because that went right through the defense of Mendez.
Keep your hands up.
Boy, Mendez keeps coming, but you've got to wonder how much longer. 20 seconds to go here in the third and final round. Zhang going in to finish this. He wants a knockout in his Glory debut.
He's coming with aggressive boxing.
Another high kick, straight left, knee to the body. The entire arsenal of Zhang on display here tonight. What a debut for Zhang.
Yeah, Zhang looked very impressive in his debut. He stayed composed, stayed relaxed, relied on his counter fighting and his left kick, and executed perfectly.
And watch this high kick. Boom!
Oh, it's actually just over the glove, perfectly placed. See it in slow-mo, boom.
Oh.
You see the eyes of Sanchez Mendez roll back.
But how about the courage of Mendez after taking a kick like that, getting up and finishing the fight? Kudos to him. We'll see him back in glory, I'm sure, after that type of heart and determination. We'll make it official after this. Chen Long Zhang, very impressive in his glory debut here tonight. Saturday, June 10th, the conquering hero returns. Cedric Doumbé makes his second title defense in front of a home crowd at Glory 42 Paris. But it's Holskin's legacy on the line as he faces the man who ended his 4-year unbeaten reign. Two bitter rivals, one rematch, a fight for redemption and revenge. Plus, a 4-man lightweight contender tournament featuring Nicholas Larson as well as heavyweight action. Glory 42 Paris, Saturday, June 10th. Don't miss it.
Rhyme sound I'm going off, baby, there's no turning back. I'm on your TV, on your album cassette, and they track. And when the show is finally finished, I'll be taking my bow. My name is Young, and yo, I got no hat. You know what I'm saying? I got no hat. I got no hat. I kick it just like this. I got juice like the president. I'm making rappers every day. I can do your house and I'm chill like a resident. Yes, because I'm that type of man. I make myself a name no matter where I am. I got no like thunder. Make you know wonder why I'm on top with all the other rappers. I make no errors, mistakes, or blunders. It's like a winning, then no one will My name is Young, I see I like to ride right well. When I get to hold the mic, I just release my spell. It's no focus, focus. I just get to move the focus and swarm all over you just like a horn of locusts. Smooth operator, female was with the spot. A white girl and then we don't want to get her. I got the kind of style for the hero.
Welcome back to Den Bosch here in the Netherlands. Chen Long Zhang's glory debut was brilliant.
And there was that knockdown we saw in the first round with those beautiful flying knee from Zhang, but he stayed composed, picked his shots, and the biggest difference with those left kicks from his southpaw stance, he started mixing levels, really started hurting the legs of Sanchez, but that's what really set up that high kick. All those low kicks led to that one beautiful high kick knockdown.
And not many fighters on planet Earth get up from that type of head kick, but Wilson Sanchez Mendez did just that. He goes the distance despite that shot, and you can see him absorb 64 shots to the head, 28 to the body. Tim Hughes will make it official right now.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds of kickboxing, we go to the judges' scorecard. Here are the totals from our 5 ringside judges. 2 of our judges see the bout 29-26. The remaining 3 score at 30-25. A unanimous decision. All for your winner, Chen Long Zhang!
So Chen Long Zhang improves to 39-5-0. Doesn't get the knockout, Joe, but did get 2 knockdowns.
Yeah, and it was that beautiful left high kick there at that 3rd round knockdown. Beautifully timed right over the glove. Well set up from his low kicks from the earlier rounds, but let me tell you, beautifully timed. Great potential for Zhang at only 19 years old to have a statement like that in his glory debut. The future is bright for Zhang.
Too bad for Zhang that he didn't get a knockout there. He would have certainly won knockout of the night with that head kick. Coming up later, Anderson Silva, who won his first semifinal tonight, getting up off the canvas, will square up against Angelo Marshall, who absolutely mowed down his first opponent. He's as fresh as can be as he gets set to take on the Brazilian later tonight. But up next, Hesty Gerges says he's never felt better after an extensive training camp. He believes he can beat any heavyweight on the planet, including his opponent tonight, Tomas Ron, who makes his glory debut and wants to make an immediate, massive impression tonight.
GloryShop.com is your stop for all things Glory Kickboxing. Represent your favorite world-class strikers and get your own t-shirts, hoodies, hats, training gear, and more. Join your favorite fight club and get your Glory gear today. GloryShop.com. Tradition, style, glory.
Welcome back here to Den Bosch. Later tonight, the finals of our heavyweight contender tournament. Whitney Miller spoke to both of our finalists.
I'm backstage with Anderson Silva after an incredible performance in the semifinals. Anderson, in the first round, you had us all nervous. How hurt were you?
The first round, it's like I warm me up, I'm no ready to fight. It's like a old car, But my performance, I tried the same, I tried to knock him out. The first round, he almost knocked him out. The second round, I feel confident,
Well, we just found out that you're going to be facing D'Angelo Marshall in the finals. What do you think about that matchup?
They're gonna be a war, He's a strike fighter. He likes to knock him out. I think it's a very good show for kickbox fans.
D'Angelo Marshall, you got a knockout in the very first round of the semifinals. How do you rate your performance?
It was good, because it's a tournament. I don't get injuries from the first fight. I finish it quickly, so we see the next one, so I can start fresh again.
And you're facing Anderson Silva in the finals. This was kind of what everybody thought was going to happen. What do you think about that?
He's a big name, Anderson Silva, but it doesn't matter. I know what I can do, so I will be good.
What's your prediction?
I don't like to predict. We will see.
We will see. Good luck.
Thank you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we once again return to Glory's heavyweight division for our next bout, scheduled for three-minute rounds. First to make his way to the Glory ring, this Czech national champion comes to Den Bosch, winner of 5 of his last 6 bouts. Please welcome Tomas Hran.
Tomas Hran is making his Glory debut, Joe, but look at the record. He has tons of experience and has fought some huge names in the sport, including Anderson Silva, Katlin Morisanu, Errol Zimmerman, Andre Stoica.
Yeah, Jafar Willis, who's actually watching live as well. This man comes in with a lot of experience. This is his first main card debut for Glory, but he was on the Glory 14 undercard, getting a decision win. So he has a lot of experience behind him. Let's see how we can do it against the big Hesdy Gerges.
He wore a heavyweight belt back in 2010 following his victory over Bada Hare. Here comes Hesdy Gerges.
In a world that makes emperors and kings by the power of Ra. Nefti, Nakmet, Sobek, Sakmet, Sokar.
6'7" tall. Hesdy Gerges, the number 7 ranked heavyweight in Glory today, and it has certainly been a stressful few months for Hesdy Gerges. His fight against Chai Lewis Perry in Brussels was called off under some controversial circumstances. He was supposed to fight Chai Perry tonight, but Perry got hurt, and all of a sudden now he's got Tomas Hran. How will that affect him in the ring tonight?
Well, he came out, and that little bit of beef that he had with Chai Lewis Perry really motivated him. And he's been a fighter that's been part of the game for so many years, so that little bit of tension forced him to train a little bit harder, made the training fun for him. So I think we're gonna see an improved better shaped Hesdy Gerges than we've seen in his last few Glory fights.
With the big boys. He is 49-18-1 with 23 wins coming by way of knockout. It's been a while since he's knocked someone out, Joe, but he predicts he will get the job done in that fashion here in front of his home countrymen.
Well, what makes him so dangerous is that he's always coming forward, and he's known for his low kicks. So let's see if he really uses those low kicks tonight, but he comes in his corner. You see Tom Herring's one of the most legendary kickboxing coaches in the world, so he has a lot of experience in his corner, a lot of experience in the ring, so he's definitely the favorite in this fight.
HDTV Gerges from Egypt, but has spent several years here in Holland, and he takes on Thomas Ron tonight. 6'7", 243 pounds for Gerges, 6'4", 225 for Ron.
And when looking at the experience, it's surprising, but it's actually Ron that's having the most experience. Gerges having more high-level experience in the Glory ring. So let's see if that recent high-level experience in fights of Gerges plays an advantage.
Ladies and gentlemen, we once again return to Glory's heavyweight division for a bout scheduled for 3 3-minute rounds. Introducing first, fighting out of the black corner, he is a WKN and WKA world champion. His professional record impressive. 81 wins with just 17 losses and 3 bouts scored even with 30 career knockouts. He stands 6 feet 4 inches tall, 1.93 meters, and he weighed in at fight time at an even 225 pounds, 102.1 kilos. Fighting tonight out of the Czech Republic, ladies and gentlemen, introducing Tomas the Rattlesnake Ron! His opponent standing on my left and fighting out of the white corner, a WFCA world and European champion. His professional record, 49 wins with 18 losses, 1 draw, and 23 career knockouts. He stands 6 feet 7 inches tall, a full 2 meters, and weighed in at 243 pounds, 110.3 kilos. Fighting tonight out of Egypt by way of the Netherlands. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Fighter Heart, HDTV Gerges. And once again, your referee in charge is Paul Nichols.
Gentlemen, you understand the rules that you're fighting to. Protect yourself at all times, obey my commands at all times. Do you have any questions? Touch gloves if you like. Great.
These are some big boys about to throw down here. We've already seen 2 heavyweight fights with 2 knockouts, and look at Ron. He is chomping at the bit to get his big paws on HDTV Gerges. He's wearing the black gloves, Gerges wearing white.
Well, you're gonna see Ron use a high-tempo style of fighting. He's gonna stay active, he's gonna be busy, where Gerges is gonna use more of that pressure and low kicks like he's doing.
They both try and chop each other down early. Tomas Ron's nicknamed the Rattlesnake. That's because at one point he owned over 80 poisonous snakes and they stayed in his house. In fact, he was once bitten by a baby African viper. Said he didn't have to go to the hospital, but he did enjoy watching the finger turn blue and then black. He's a sicko, everybody. But what an opportunity for Ron to come in and immediately make a statement. Was that a knockdown?
I'm not sure what
yes,
hit
it
him.
was.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Gloves up. Fight!
I didn't see it either, Joe. Interesting.
No, it happens from something on the left side, so maybe it was a left hook from Gerges.
Ron didn't complain much. Must have been legit.
And it shut down his output.
Still coming forward is Ron.
I love what Gerges is doing. He'll take 2 or 3 punches off his guard to give 1 hard low kick.
And it's another knockdown.
2.
1 more in this round and the fight's over.
4, 5.
Definitely
6,
interesting knockdowns.
7, 8. Fight!
Certainly not spectacular looking knockdowns, but they are effective. HDTV Gerges said he'd get a knockout tonight, and he could do it just over halfway through round number 1 with 1 more knockdown.
Gerges is fighting smart, uses his low kicks, makes Ron very cautious about them, and then uses his punches to finish.
And a knee Gerges told us he's in the best shape he's been in years, and we can tell just by looking at his body, Joe.
Yeah, he looks a little leaner this time around, so he's definitely put the extra rounds in training.
And Hesdy Gerges has plenty of temptation to eat bad. He owns a bakery downtown Amsterdam that sells some pretty darn good pies. Me and Joe know because we went and ate one yesterday.
And we shared a Snickers pie.
A Snickers pie. Tasty Bakery, that's the name of Hesdy Gerges' business downtown Amsterdam. Right near some of those coffee shops too, so a lot of people come out of there hungry with the munchies.
Good business idea.
So round one about to end mercifully for Thomas Ron. Knocked down twice. Be interested to see these replays.
Well, let's take a look at those knockdowns because it was very hard to see from our angle. But it looked like I said, it was those left hooks. Didn't look like very damaging strikes, but just enough to put Ron down. This is the second knockdown. Gerges setting it up with a good jab. I'm not sure what hit there. Was it the right hook that landed? Maybe that just shook the head through the guard. Regardless what it was, Ron hit the canvas. 2 knockdowns in the first round.
Maybe he got him on the temple. Knocked him a little wobbly a little bit and went down.
But when you're a powerful puncher, whether someone has their defense up or not, you can definitely bring the power and do damage through defense.
So here we go, round two. Hesdy Gerges with a definitive round one win. There's Felicia out of Sweden. Hello to her. Thomas Ron has to change the game plan. What does he have to do, Joe?
Well, it's kind of hard with Gerges right now because Gerges is staying on the inside using his low kicks. Ideally, he should try to stay on the outside, use movement and angles, but that forward constant pressure of Gerges is hard to get around.
That's ruled a slip. All 5 judges scored it. 10-7 Gerges, round number 1, thanks to those 2 knockdowns. So Ron pretty much needs a knockout here. He has the power to do it. Of his 81 wins, 30 have come by way of knockout.
Time. Public warning, going with the head. Last warning, deduct a point. Understand? Timing, fight!
Well, there's been a lot of talk about Ron using a lot of clinch in his past fights, but Paul Nichols is really establishing the no clinch rule.
That was a kick on the break. Luckily for Ron, he didn't kick Paul Nichols in the face.
Well, Ron's still doing a good job at staying in the pocket, trying to be busy on the inside, but Gerges keeps making distance and throwing low kicks.
That was a sweep, which is not a legal knockdown.
Time, neutral. 1 point, leading with the head, not engaging. 1 point. 1 point. 1 point.
What do you make of that call, Joe?
Timing.
Well, it doesn't look like they're clinching. They're both standing in mid-range, not really throwing anything. But
oh, the body shot. You could see the grimace on the face of Thomas Ron, but he stayed on his feet.
A few more low kicks from Gerges, and this fight could be over.
Gerges looking to get back in the win column, and a straight right hand connects. Strikes absorbed. You can see the leg kicks pretty good from Hesdy Gerges, as they usually are.
Well, you can see what Gerges is doing too. He keeps pushing forward. He puts Ron against the ropes, and Ron's getting penalized for the pressure of Gerges.
It's Interesting how Paul Nichols continues to warn Ron about leading with his head. It doesn't seem that egregious. Nevertheless, he wants more action from Ron.
Well, Ron's in the past has been known for a lot of clinching, so I know Paul Nichols spoke to Ron before to, warn him about all the excessive clinching.
This is the longest we've seen a heavyweight fight go tonight, despite Thomas Ron being knocked down twice and being deducted a point.
Yeah, he really has to do a lot this round, no surprise to that. But he is showing a lot of heart, staying in the pocket, constantly staying there, but he's being warned a little too much. He needs to stay out, try to be a little bit more active and stay away from those low kicks.
So fight, but not stand still. Where's the uppercut? That's the right uppercut. Now the little KO.
We are watching another heavyweight bout. And speaking of, there's Alistair Overeem, currently with the UFC, has had his fair share of victories in the kickboxing ring as well, most notably perhaps. He fought twice against Badr Hari, winning one and losing one.
And we had the opportunity to call the Rico Badr fight with Overeem.
That's right. Super nice guy. So another, well, I wouldn't say another, he's had a 10-7 round and now a 10-8 round. Ron, who told us he drinks 2 beers the night before a fight, he probably won at least a 6-pack after this is over.
Yeah, his legs are going to be hurting for a few weeks after it. But his corner from Coliseum, Danny DeVries, called for that uppercut. Let's see if he can mix that in on the inside.
Here's one of those double punches you were telling me about. Tell that story real quick, Joe.
Well, we had a fighter on my team who, when we asked for a double punch, ended up throwing both fists at the same time, which is one of the funniest moments I've seen coaching.
Instead of throwing 2 jabs, he just threw 2 punches at the same time.
Well, you liked it.
Left and a right. It seems like an interesting strategy. You never see that coming.
Hit the head and the body at the same time.
So just under 2 minutes to go for Tomas Ron to find a miracle. But he does have the power. And Hesti Gerges is searching for that knockout, so he will have some openings to explore if he can get his shots off in time.
Well, Ron has blocked a few low kicks, where you see Gerges now using his experience. He threw a left low kick. He went high with his right kick. Usually when you have one area hurt on your opponent, that's when you want to change areas. Change the focus and then go back to that leg. So if I were Gerges, I would probably mix my punches a little bit more, maybe my left kick, then go back to that right low kick.
Ron being told to not punch on the break. Oh, and Paul Nichols takes a shot to the chin. He's still standing as he gives us a smirk here ringside. That was the best punch of the night for Thomas Ron.
That's against those big boys, that's the last place you want to be.
Hesti wanted to fight without his mouthpiece, or maybe just stick it in dirty. You're not going to catch him right in dirty. They put the mouthpiece back in. So, Joe, I score right now that Paul Nichols wins this round.
Well, he showed a lot of heart and chin in that one.
He did, didn't he? Jafar Wellness in the house. Another accomplished heavyweight. His brother, of course, the former middleweight champion of the world. There's a head kick from Gerges, who wants to end this with an exclamation point.
Changing levels with that right kick. Good strategy.
He got 2 knockdowns, but couldn't get the knockout. But a win for Hesti Gerges, most certainly, unless somehow the judges put the wrong score next to the wrong fighter. The official decision when we return here to the Netherlands.
Saturday, June 10th, the conquering hero returns. Cedric Doumbé makes his second title defense in front of a home crowd at Glory 42 Paris. But it's Holskin's legacy on the line as he faces the man who ended his 4-year unbeaten reign. Two bitter rivals, one rematch, a fight for redemption and revenge. Plus, a 4-man lightweight contender tournament featuring Nicholas Larson as well as heavyweight action. Glory 42 Paris, Saturday, June 10th. Don't miss it.
We're back here to Den Bosch in the Netherlands. Our heavyweight attraction between Hesty Gerges, Thomas Ron has gone final, and it was all about Hesty.
Hesty in that forward pressure, really closing the distance, getting on the inside, showcasing some good hands, and it was those low kicks, time after time after time, really slowed down Ron. And then in round 3, it was the same kind of pressure. A lot of clinching between the two, but Paul Nichols really showing that he's got that tough chin.
Look at this. Did it miss? He ducked it. I thought he took the shot. Come on, Paul. You gotta stay in the pocket. What are you doing?
Showing good head movement.
Here are your stats. As you can see, the majority of the effective strikes lean towards the Egyptian Hesty Gerges. And strikes absorbed, head and legs. 37 to the head, 34 to the legs. Hesty Gerges is back, ladies and gentlemen, to be sending into the ring. And Tim Hughes.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds of kickboxing, we go to the judges' scorecard. Here are the totals from our 5 ringside judges. They all scored about the same, 30-24, a unanimous decision for your winner, Hesty Gerges.
Whitney Miller trying to track down Hesty Gerges. She's done it.
Hesty, congratulations. You're here in your hometown. Give it up one more time for Hesty Gerges, ladies and gentlemen. Were you surprised at all by how much punishment he can endure from you?
No, it's a really a real fighter, you know. 5 months I focused on Chai. And he makes me very angry, of course. So all the time my focus was on him. And then 3 days before the fight, I heard that I had to fight Thomas. Of course, I'm happy that he's a real fighter, that he stood up. But for me, it was a little bit difficult to change my focus. But I made it, and I think it was a good fight. So thanks to Thomas, thanks to the great audience, thanks to Glory to fight another opponent for me. And up to the next one. So.
You guys have trained before in the past. Do you think that worked to your advantage tonight?
Yeah, but he was not that strong that time. All the time he goes out every round. So he's just a little bit stronger in the real fight.
Well, congratulations again, Hesty Gerges.
Hesty Gerges has reached a milestone. That was his 50th professional win. So congratulations to Hesty Gerges with his win tonight over Thomas Ron. Coming up next, it's our heavyweight contender tournament finale. Anderson Silva, so much experience, but will he have the energy left after getting up off the canvas to beat D'Angelo Marshall, who blew right through his opening opponent, Mahan Abdallah? The finals of the heavyweight contender tournament when we return.
GloryShop.com is your stop for all things Glory Kickboxing. Represent your favorite world-class strikers and get your own t-shirts, hoodies, hats, training gear, and more. Join your favorite fight club and get your Glory gear today. GloryShop.com. Tradition, style, glory.
We welcome you back here to the Netherlands, and joining us ringside, the former welterweight champion of the world, Nicky Holzken. Thanks for being with us. I know you hate the word former. You lost your title. You've been unbeaten in Glory for 4 years. How has that changed your mentality?
Yeah, it was so, but I trained very hard, and yeah, sport to sport, you can win, you can lose. I defeat everyone in my career almost, so now I lose one time. But it makes me very sharp, and yeah, I'm very motivated again to win my title back next month.
What kind of changes do you need to make in order to beat Doumbé this time?
I don't complain about my fight, but I know I had a short notice fight with Doumbé because I fight 3 or 4 weeks before with Grunach. And yeah, it's just a little facts about the short time. I underestimated to fight 2 world titles in 1 month. So yeah, next month I know I'm gonna be sharper than I was the last time.
As we look at some highlights of that fight in Germany from December, now that you've gone back and watched it a few times, what did you do wrong in that fight?
I could not use my legs so good, and I have a problem with my left hand in the first round. But I think, yeah, it was a split decision, so it was very, yeah, close. It was very close. But yeah, I know for myself that I was not motivated the last 2 years because I keep on winning, and everybody say, "Oh, Nicky, you will win. It's easy." And I don't know that guy, but the guys are good. They train very hard, and everybody wants to beat me at the moment when I was champion. So yeah, now they put a feather in my ass, and I'm trained very hard again.
So, do you have any words for Doumbé who's listening?
Doumbé, you are a very good fighter. You have a good fight against me, but next month I'm gonna beat you.
And you're gonna beat him if you do it in his home country. It's Paris, France, June 10th. Nicky Holzken versus Cedric Doumbé for the welterweight championship of the world. Good luck to you.
Oosh, thank you very much.
Nicky Holzken, everybody. All right, Joe, let's look back now at some highlights from the semifinals as we get set for the heavyweight contender championship.
Well, we first had Anderson Braddock Silva in the first semifinals of the night, who really did a good job at using his counter punches. He suffered an early knockdown in the first round from some good, powerful left hands, but he showed his experience, and he came back in the second round and scored a knockdown. So there was that. The second fight of the tournament, we had D'Angelo Marshall really come in and overwhelm Abdallah with a lot of good boxing, changing angles. So he's definitely the fresher fighter coming into the finals.
Time now, ladies and gentlemen, for the tournament final in the heavyweight division of Glory, once again scheduled for 3 3-minute rounds. He made short work of his semifinal opponent with a first-round knockout just 48 seconds into the fight. Please welcome back D'Angelo Marshall.
D'Angelo Marshall making a big move tonight. We've updated our heavyweight rankings. He was 17th in the world entering tonight, but after that decisive victory, he's now in the top 10.
Well, he's going to have to keep climbing that ranks because if he wins this tournament tonight, he has a chance against Benjamin Adegbuyi, which leads him to Rico Verhoeven.
D'Angelo Marshall. 2 quick, decisive knockdowns against Muhammad Abdallah, and he has the chance to take one step closer to a world title shot right now.
After getting knocked down in the first round of his semifinal, he came back with a vengeance and ended it in the second round. Here comes Anderson Silva.
I like the music. The smoke timed perfectly. But Joe, usually I ask you, which fighter do you think is fresher? There's no doubt who it is in this fight. Anderson Silva got knocked down once, actually twice. They didn't score it that way. Twice in his first fight. How do you see him as far as his fitness is concerned as he steps into the ring?
Well, I think the biggest advantage beyond his fitness is his experience. He was at Glory 4, you know, fighting in tournaments against guys like Gokhan Saki. He's fought Earl Zimmerman and Sergey Karatanov in tournaments. So 2 fights in one night is not a big thing, a new thing for Braddock Silva. So it's about the freshness of D'Angelo versus this more experience of Anderson Silva.
Here's our tale of the tape. Anderson Silva from Brazil and from Curacao. It's D'Angelo Marshall. Marshall, 13-inch reach advantage. How big of an advantage is that?
Well, I think it's a good advantage, but with the way we saw D'Angelo fight in that first fight, he's going to really come in and try to use that pressure, and I think that's his best strategy tonight, because we saw Stofferides found good success in the first round by over-pressuring.
It took D'Angelo Marshall just 48 seconds to advance to the final. Does he have what it takes to head to Madison Square Garden to face Benjamin Adegbuyi in July? All right, here is the scoring system now. It goes by the number of knockdowns, cumulative damage inflicted, number of clean scoring strikes with spectacular techniques, and then clean scoring strikes with normal techniques in that order. And this fight has open scoring, so after each round, you'll see the judges' official scores on your screen. The fighters will know how they stand as well.
This is your main event of the evening. 3 rounds in a contender tournament with not only the Ramon Dekkers Trophy on the line, but also a chance to move one step closer to a shot at the heavyweight championship of the world. This bout sanctioned by the International Sport Kickboxing Association, and at the opening bell, your referee, Tobias Gerald. From Holland to Hong Kong, Glory kickboxing fans are tuned in around the world. It's time for Glory! Introducing first, fighting out of the black corner, he now improves his record to 15 wins with 2 losses and 9 career knockouts. Standing 6 feet 5 inches tall, 1.95 meters, he weighed in at 244.5 pounds and even 110 kilos. Back tonight, fighting out of Curacao, he is D'Angelo Marshall. His opponent fighting out of the white corner. His record now 41 wins with 16 losses and 1 bout scored even with 26 career knockouts. At 6 feet 3.5 inches, 1.92 meters, he weighed in at fight time at an even 236 pounds, 107.2 kilos. Here tonight, fighting out of Sao Paulo, Brazil, ladies and gentlemen, it's Anderson Braddock Silva. And again, your referee is Tobias Gerald.
D'Angelo, Anderson. Gentlemen, it's the final of the contender tournament. You know the rules, respect my commands at all times, protect yourself at all times. Fight good, fight clean, fight hard, may the best man win. Judge gloves, back to the corner. Judge, judge, judge.
Who's headed to Madison Square Garden in July to face Benjamin Adegbuyi? We're about to find out. Anderson Silva from Brazil in the white gloves, D'Angelo Marshall in the black. And they both come out swinging.
That's what D'Angelo did in his first fight.
Not wasting any time. Marshall headhunting from the beginning, but Silva answering back.
And Silva's gonna counter right back. Really use those counter punches.
Marshall spent less than a minute in the ring in his opening contest.
It seems like Silva really likes to take this first round to stay defensive, weather the early storm of his opponents.
It takes a lot of energy to throw these big power punches that Marshall's so fond of. By round 3, he could be gassed.
Well, in these exchanges, it's Marshall that found some good hooks and uppercuts. He's definitely getting the best in these exchanges.
You can't underestimate the in-ring experience Anderson Silva has. 57 professional fights.
Well, in the semifinals, we thought he was finished in that first round. Then he came back. Let's see if he can do it again in this fight.
He's known as Braddock after Chuck Norris. That cult movie missing in action. His teammates felt he shared the same gung-ho attitude and fearlessness, so they said, "You're Chuck Norris." I think Chuck Norris would win a tournament final. He doesn't know how to lose. He's Chuck Norris. Nice jab from Marshall.
That's what I'd like to see from Marshall. I like when he uses his jab, but not sure what happened there.
Tobias Gerald saying it's not a knockdown. Nice body kick from Silva.
Marshall's definitely slowing down.
A slapping left hook from Marshall. Well, Silva looked dead and buried in his first fight, but came back to win via KO in round 2.
Well, let's see what that early output has done for Marshall. Still looking good as this round comes to a close.
Marshall, 6'5" tall. Anderson Silva, 6'3½".
I like Anderson moving his head.
You cannot be stationary if you're fighting someone like D'Angelo Marshall. He'll catch you with the right hand and put you on your back. Nice uppercut again from Marshall.
Beautiful, pop that chin of Silva. Oh, good dig body hook from Silva.
A good opening round for Marshall, but how much energy did he dish out?
Well, he slowed down as the round progressed. Maybe he's decided that since he couldn't get that early finish, he's gonna kind of pace himself a little bit. He did a good job throwing some jabs. I don't think there was many kicks so far in this round. It shows Marshall throwing 3 kicks and Silva 4.
Glory returns to the United States and Manhattan for Glory 43. One of these 2 men will be fighting Benjamin Adegbuyi. We've also got a Glory Featherweight Contender Tournament. That's at the world's most famous arena, Madison Square Garden, Friday, July 14th.
I know Braddock really wants to win that fight because he wants that rematch with Adegbuyi, which he still feels he won from that controversial knockdown.
And hello to Stephanie.
You can reach out to her on Instagram or on Snapchat. For more on our Glory girls, go to glorykickboxing.com. Round 2 scheduled for 3. See how the judges scored this fight. Open scoring rules. All 5 give it to Marshall. So Silva has to win the next 2 rounds. And Joe, it seems like as long as Marshall can stay active, stay busy, he's going to be fine. But once he starts running out of gas, that's when Silva hones in.
Well, Silva's very dangerous with his counter punching, so regardless, Marshall needs to stay tight in these exchanges because this is where Broddick is dangerous. He's starting to hit the body, which is opening the head, just like his first fight. So I expect Silva to have a better round, more active, especially with these low kicks and body punches.
Marshall going back to the jab, which is always a good idea.
Nice knee on the inside as well.
Anderson Silva would love to fight in Madison Square Garden in July. He has another baby due in August. Got to buy some diapers, Joe. Need the money. Body shot from Silva.
Yeah, a lot of left kicks and body punches. That's going to open up some of the head shots. Just like that overhand right Silva threw.
And Joe, since the winner will be matching up against Benjamin Adegbuyi, who would do better, in your opinion, in that fight?
Well, the way Silva fought him last time was incredible, and it was such a close fight where Silva did a good job using his boxing and counter punches. So I got to go with Silva. D'Angelo's still really young.
Nice jab.
But both guys have a good shot. Both powerful, both big, both durable.
It almost looks like Marshall could jab his way to a win here in round 2 if he so chooses. There it is again.
Silva's good at moving his head off center line and ripping those punches.
Both men slowing down considerably here. 45 seconds to go in round 2, scheduled for 3. It's our main event, the finals of our heavyweight contender tournament.
Good body, left hook. Silva has a very dangerous left kick. He's using it a lot to the leg right now, then he mixes up a high kick. D'Angelo's corner is asking for punch to knees. Which is definitely a good strategy, but make sure he keeps his hands up when he's throwing those knees.
Good low kick on the way out of this round. Anderson Silva.
Definitely a better round for Anderson Silva. I'm curious to see how the judges are scoring that round.
Anderson Silva says this is his biggest fight in years because he knows what's at stake. Silva said he did no research on either one of his possible opponents tonight, or actually up to 3. Said he lets his trainer do that. He just goes in, trains, and does whatever his coaches tell him.
Well, he has to have a lot of confidence coming in here, being the most experienced guy fighting the best in the world for so many years. So he probably is very confident with that, and it's showing. He's having a better second round, but very impressive start for D'Angelo Marshall. The future is endless for this guy.
Both corners very emotional with their guys. Listen, this is the last round. We got a shot possibly at a heavyweight championship. Go out there and make the most of these 3 minutes. Here we go. Through 2 rounds, here is the official scoring.
Both guys coming out a lot active because that second round, in my opinion, can go both ways.
1 judge gave it to Silva, 4 gave it to Marshall. Therefore, Anderson Silva needs a knockdown in this round, or he will lose. So Marshall's corner saw that as well. Would you play it safe here, knowing you've won the first 2 rounds, Joe?
Well, if I was Marshall's corner, I would like him to stay long with those straight punches. He doesn't need to get on the inside. He can stay active. He can keep pressuring, staying busy, but use longer punches because those hooks and counter punches of Silva are always dangerous.
I would yell something along the lines of, you need to throw at least 30 jabs this round.
Yeah, he needs to stay long.
It's some push kicks. But he's not staying long, he's going for the kill. Couple of big power punches land, but Silva's still upright.
I feel Silva's best weapons would be those left kicks.
Oh, and a knee and a right hand follows it up. But Silva just won't go quietly, will he?
No, many have tried. He's very hard and difficult to put down.
Silva looked down and out in his first fight as well, but came back to win. He's got a minute and a half here.
Looks like he's saving up some energy for some big punches.
Who are you talking about, Joe?
Well, both at this point. I think both of them are trying to catch breath and try to find the energy to put combinations together.
Another good round so far for D'Angelo Marshall. You've got to wonder how much damage did Silva suffer from that first fight that's carried over here into his second. He's eating a lot of power punches.
Yeah, his head keeps getting rocked on the inside. D'Angelo keeps mixing angles, just throwing hooks and uppercuts.
There's an uppercut.
Beautiful time.
Stepped right into it.
Punching power seems to have gone from the hands of Silva.
He landed a flush shot there with the right hand, but it didn't have enough mustard on it to do damage. A good body shot from Silva as we approach 10 seconds to go. D'Angelo Marshall appears to have done the deed. A fantastic performance from Marshall, who just throws out his mouthpiece. He fought brilliantly in the first fight, knocking out his opponent in 48 seconds, and he did pretty darn well against Silva too.
Well, it was definitely a good strategy, and a lot of fighters in tournaments really go hard and aggressive that first fight, try to limit and avoid the damage, finish the fights as fast as possible. So that strategy seemed to work well for him tonight.
The official decision. Who's headed to New York City? We find out when we return. The conquering hero returns. Cedric Doumbé makes his second title defense in front of a home crowd at Glory 42 Paris. But it's Holskin's legacy on the line as he faces the man who ended his 4-year unbeaten reign. 2 bitter rivals, 1 rematch, a fight for redemption and revenge. Plus, a 4-man lightweight contender tournament featuring Nicholas Larson as well as heavyweight action. Glory 42 Paris, Saturday, June 10th. Don't miss it. Welcome back to the Netherlands. Todd Grisham, Joseph Baltellini here ringside as we jump into our highlights from the heavyweight contender tournament final.
A lot of these highlights are going to be about this active forward volume of D'Angelo Marshall, who just kept coming forward, throwing his boxing, really changing angles, landing some good knees on the inside. Braddock really tried counter-punching and really tried hitting the body, mixing in some left kicks, but just didn't have that power in that third round. Could it be the conditioning, or was it that first fight of Silva that took most of his energy out of him? But you can see that although the landed, the throw, all favors D'Angelo Marshall.
D'Angelo Marshall, who's already won 2 tournaments in the Super Combat in 2013 and 2015, may have just done it again here in Glory in 2017. Who's headed to the Big Apple? Let's find out with Tim Hughes.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds of tournament action, we once again go to the judges' scorecard to our 5 ringside judges. Here are the totals. One judge scores at 29-28. The other 4 all have it 30-27. A unanimous decision for your winner. And now, Glory Contender Tournament Champion, D'Angelo Marshall. Here to present the Ramon Deckers Trophy, our Managing Director of Sports, Mr. Cor Hemmers, joined by the number 2 ranked heavyweight of the UFC, Mr. Alistair Overeem.
D'Angelo. Congratulations.
Yes, I did it.
You certainly did. Describe your emotions as you hold this trophy tonight.
Wow, it's just like in my dreams. I dreamed before it, and now it happened. So, wow, dreams come true.
Speaking of a dream come true, you will be fighting at Madison Square Garden in New York City. How does that feel?
Great. I like to show the world what I got. So I'm gonna fight against the big boys, so I can let the world know who I am.
You will be. You'll be fighting Benjamin Adegbuyi in New York City. Do you have a message for him?
Train good, my friend, train good. I want to thank everybody. Moesit, Sorab, Youssef is er ook bij. Glory sowieso, dat ze me de kans geven. En ik ga laten zien wat ik kan. Live kicking, Eiburg, fighter. Hoes.
Congratulations. And I'm standing here with our good friend, Alistair Overeem. We haven't seen you since Germany when we were there for the Rico Botter fight. How do you feel about the fights tonight?
Well, I'm very excited. I mean, yeah, big guys. They're going for the knockout. Always good.
Always fun. We have Rico and Lazar fighting soon. What's your prediction for that fight?
I don't know. To be honest, I have not really seen enough about Ismail to make a good prediction. But, you know, Rico is very strong at the moment, so maybe we'll take it on decision. But, yeah, we're going to see. I'm excited about the fight.
So speaking of Rico, would you ever fight Rico?
Well, I'm in the UFC right now. But if he's willing to come to MMA, to UFC, then I'm totally open for that fight.
And how do you think that would go?
Total domination with me a winner, of course.
Great. Thank you so much for joining us.
Alistair Overeem in the house here tonight in Den Bosch. Todd Grisham, Joseph Valtellini back with you tonight. So D'Angelo Marshall now moves on to Madison Square Garden to square off against Benjamin Adegbuyi, another big boy. He's 6'6", 260. Break that matchup down for us.
Well, Adegbuyi's really good at using straight punches, keeping his distance, keeping his range. So I think it's going to be a little more difficult for D'Angelo Marshall to really get on the inside, but he showed a lot of heart, a lot of good conditioning, and a lot of good power.
So D'Angelo Marshall wins a tournament tonight. He advances to Madison Square Garden, and he will face Benjamin Adegbuyi with the winner of that fight fighting Rico Verhoeven sometime later this year. So congratulations to D'Angelo as he moves on. Talk about some of the other fights tonight, Joe. Who jumps out in your mind as far as a great performance?
Well, I really like Chenglong Zhang. He really showed at 19 years old, he's got the composure, the power, the style to have a really successful career in Glory.
In the return of Hesti Gerges tonight as well. He lost 4 fights in a row, but gets back in the win column with a decisive win tonight over Thomas Ron.
Yeah, this was an emotional win for him. Being on that little streak, being here in Amsterdam, he really needed that win to find his groove, to get motivated again. he wants wherever the title is, so he's going to keep climbing the rankings again.
So congratulations to Hesty Gerges, who's back on the winning track, and you know he still wants Chai Lewis Perry. So Chai, if you're out there, we hope you get well soon and get back in the glory ring to square off against Hesty sometime in the year 2017. But the night belongs to D'Angelo Marshall, who has a chance to be the #1 contender as he fights Benjamin Adegbuyi at Madison Square Garden. Also coming up, this is Glory 41. Glory 42, we head down to France, Paris. Cedric Doumbé, in front of his home countryman, faces off against Nicky Holzken. Give us a sneak peek of what we can expect.
Well, I think you're going to see that versatile, dynamic style of Doumbé, but I'm telling you, Nicky Holzken, after speaking to him today, he's motivated. His mind, he said he needed that little bit of extra push. So we're going to see a more aggressive Nicky Holzken, which is going to make an amazing fight.
Can't wait to call it with you, buddy.
All right.
It's going to be a good one for Joseph Valtellini and the entire Glory kickboxing team, including Whitney Miller. My name is Todd Grisham, and we'll see you at Glory 42 Paris.
Saturday, June 10th, the conquering hero returns. Cedric Doumbé makes his second title defense in front of a home crowd at Glory 42 Paris. But it's Holzken's legacy on the line as he faces the man who ended his 4-year unbeaten reign. 2 bitter rivals, 1 rematch, a fight for redemption and revenge. Plus, a 4-man lightweight contender tournament featuring Nicholas Larson as well as heavyweight action. Glory 42 Paris, Saturday, June 10th. Don't miss it.